Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today by supporting the Going In Raw Patreon. You can enjoy access to the live taping of the show, exclusive merchandise, and patron-only episodes, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description. Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw. It's the only wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. We're live here on YouTube. We're on the Stitcher Radio. We're on, of course, iTunes. You can find us on the SoundCloud at Steve and Larson.
Google Play.
Google Play, we're there. I put us up on our Facebook. We have a Facebook page that we don't really touch. I've been trying to touch that a little bit more here and there, but I put the podcast up on Facebook, the full video of it. So if you guys are regularly on Facebook, you can check it out there as well. And of course, Larson, we've got a Patreon at patreon.com/Steven Larson. You guys can, check out what we're doing there. We've got all sorts of reward tiers. Right now, we got a bunch of people watching us. You can watch the live feed of this podcast. Interact with us, if you will.
For $5 a month.
For $5 a month. That's right. We got some new patrons in. I was going to give him a shout out. Now I don't even. Oh, yeah. This is my mail. It's in my mail right here. I'm going to do it right now. We got some new patrons. Ricky Wilson pledged $5.
Thank you.
Cloves Dinters pledged $5.
Thank you.
Somebody just named Samuel on Saturday. Some guy named Samuel. I don't know. It doesn't say his last name. Samuel. $5.
Thank you.
Brett Miller, $5.
Thank you.
And Connor Harbison, $5, all since the last podcast. So I want to say thank you very much to you guys for donating. At $5, you get to check this out every single week, this live stream, plus a bonus episode every week. At $1, you get to check out a monthly bonus episode and a monthly live stream. At $10, you get to vote on the Kayfabe Corner, our wrestling trivia show that we do at the end of every episode.
And you get one of these gimmicks.
You get one of these postcards right here. We sent the first big batch out pretty recently. We've been getting a lot of tweets saying, hey, we got your postcard. Thanks so much. So we want to say thank you for donating.
We got to send more of those out. We got to do a Google Plus Hangout.
We're going to be doing a Google Plus.
$20.
I think it's $20 and up. We're doing a Google
Plus Hangout.
Plus Hangout.
It's supposed to be monthly, too.
Is it 20 or 50?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
There's so much to remember.
There's too much to remember.
I think it's 20.
I think it's 20 also. So we got that coming up. I think we're going to try to do it at the end of this week.
Yeah, we should.
All right. So we'll hang out with you guys and we'll talk about Money in the Bank. That's coming up. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And then $50. I got the t-shirt design ready to go. We just got our funds from Patreon. So I'm going to be hitting up the t-shirt people out here and get those sent off too. And the Steven Larson comic book is on the cusp of being done. You saw the cover.
Yeah, for the first time.
Of the Going In Raw variant cover that you get at the $20 mark for the Steven Larson care package.
You look good.
Yeah, all sorts of shit going on over here. Man, are you okay? What's going on with your eye over there?
Context.
You got to do pee-pee?
No,
you got to do pee-pee?
I already made pee-pee.
You got a couple pee-pee?
Got a couple of liters?
You got a couple of liters?
God, look, 2 liters of pee would be a lot.
A couple liters. I got my Prego jar. What do you got going on over there?
This salad dressing jar.
All right. Yeah. I got some red sauce. You got some salad dressing. We got too sweet.
Nope.
You're not gonna too sweet me?
I am not.
The entire world of Going In Raw has been tweeting at us.
Here's the thing, though.
Trying to get you to
if I were to
sweet.
do this,
yeah.
Think of all the fun we wouldn't be having.
I agree. Look, I know that, but that's not going to keep me from trying to get just too sweet.
No.
Get just too sweet?
No.
I hit up Scott Hall on Twitter. I asked him some advice. How do I get it too sweet? I think Scott Hall on Twitter only talks to girls, though. I think he flirts with people on Twitter. He's not trying to talk to me and give me advice. I'd try to get Kevin Owens to give me some advice on how to get it too sweet from you. He's nothing. Nobody's answering me. So I got to figure out some ways on how to get it too sweet from me. Some people are out there on Twitter offering up some really kind of suggest they think it's that easy. Somebody out there said, "Hey, Nakamura versus Balor if that happens at the next NXT."
No, they said a bet.
Yeah, they said.
But I think we both know that Shinsuke's going to win that match.
Oh, for sure. Has that even been confirmed?
No.
This has been teased, and I've got a theory about Balor coming up later on in the show. I'm going to talk to you about.
Okay.
I think it's pretty solid. I was impressed with myself for coming up with it, by the way.
Okay, well, let's get on with it.
All right. Anyways, Larson, we got to talk about Raw. It was our go-home show for Money in the Bank. So here we go with our Raw cap. It goes like this. And then you say...
Raw cap.
Just with complete and total... What would you call that? Apathy. Wow. Apathy? Really? No.
Well, what other word would you use to describe my general demeanor today?
Today is no different than any other day of the week. So, just standard. This is standard.
Okay, what would you use to describe it?
I don't know. Larson-esque. Grumpy. Old. Weathered. Exhausted. Frequently. What's the word for somebody who's always exhausted? Chronic fatigue syndrome.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked into that? See if you have that.
Not officially.
You just say it's life.
Yeah. Pretty much.
All right. Kick us off then. What happened on Raw? I was entertained by Raw. Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it was a good go-home show. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, rather.
No, last week was garbage. No, 2 weeks ago, yeah.
2 weeks ago was
Wasn't very good.
pure garbage.
Yeah.
And that was the last time we got together. Last week, we had our mock draft episode.
Because you were on vacation.
Because I was on vacation. And so this week, we're doing a standard Raw, our regular Raw cap. I was actually really entertained. I thought all the segments, you mentioned this we have a recap show we do over at Machinima, too, you guys can check out. And today's episode of that, we talk about the fact there's two
potentially
pay-per-views. Not fact, the rumor that there's 2 pay-per-views coming up per month for each brand.
But except for the major 4 pay-per-views.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show too, because we have a question about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a fun show. It was fun.
I thought it was a fun show. It kicked off really
but you're going to say that I mentioned on the Machinima show that they stuffed a lot into 3 hours. There's a lot of segments. If you look at this list here by segments,
this is a big ass list.
There's a lot.
Yeah. So you're right. I mean, they did stuff a lot. They kicked it off with the New Day. You can never go wrong with that. They kicked it off with the tag team program that's happening right now. The New Day came out. Enzo and Cass came out. First of all, the New Day came out. I love that they're treating Kofi like an old man these days. Like, they made numerous references to the fact that he's the old guy in the group. He's been there forever.
Within the last few weeks, yeah.
It's hilarious. And he was wearing Steph Curry's...
the Chef Curry lows.
Chef Curry's. And for you guys who don't know, these shoes... Because you're a big shoe fashionista guy.
Well, I'm into the sneakers.
You're a big sneakerhead.
Yeah, a little bit.
You always school me a little bit on the sneaker thing. You're always like, hey, look at these. So I get most of my info from you. It's kind of like if something Star Trek happens or comic book happens, you always get that a little bit from me. I'm in the same way as sneakers.
I guess so, yeah. I'm not doubting that you have more expertise in Star Trek and comic, but it's not very often that you text me. It's like, hey, look at this new Star Trek thing that just dropped.
That's true. I'm trying to think of like
same with comics, really.
I'm trying to think of like the reverse aspect of things.
Because I know you're kind of interested in sneakers, not to the degree that I am. So if I come across something that I think you'd like, I pass it along.
Here's my thing about sneakers, is that there's so many other priorities in my life. And I can't just get sneakers all the time. I love the way they look. I love a lot of the designs. The Jordans are beautiful. I've always lusted after them. However, I don't have the money to indulge. And so it's kind of like, why am I even really
Well, I don't either, but I appreciate it from a design standpoint.
No, absolutely. I agree, but I want it on my feet. If I can't have it, why am I even going to look at it?
Just you can appreciate the craftsmanship.
Appreciation isn't good enough.
The artistry behind a good design.
I need to have it.
Okay.
I need to have the money to have it all.
Okay.
I can't really have them all.
No.
So I can't. I don't get into them as much as you do. But I appreciate that.
But apparently someone who does have a lot of sneakers is Kofi Kingston, because he's been rocking some really good kicks during his tenure with the New Day. He had the Chef Currys. He had some LeBron 12s he's been wearing lately. Yeah. Before that, he had some other LeBron 12s, the tennis ball bright kind of fluorescent green ones.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah. In any event, they were clowning pretty hard because these shoes are hilariously out of date looking. They look like, they do. They look like something Jerry Seinfeld would wear. Like the Twitter, there has been multiple articles about people clowning this, and they're all fucking hilarious. They look like old people shoes.
I think it's just the colorway is kind of bland.
It's just white and then off-white.
Yeah.
And they're like low tops, so there's just nothing special about these things.
Yeah.
At all. And besides maybe the way they feel. maybe they're really comfy.
It could be. I don't know.
Anyways, Enzo and Cass come out. They all have this big thing. There's something really sexual going on they were talking about with Francesca.
Yeah.
Enzo apparently likes to fuck musical instruments.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really understand what that was all about. I was thoroughly entertained, though.
I think that was what it was all about.
Yeah.
Just to be entertained.
Yeah, it was pretty damn funny. Then the Vaudevillains come down. Aiden English, I tell you, you got to check this out at some point. I was watching like the earliest episode they have of NXT on the network.
Yeah.
And everything is so low budget. Mm-hmm. It's like garage sale WWE. Everything is weird. Everything is more low budget, except for like certain things like Damian Sandow's on there. He looks normal. Summer Rae's on there. She looks the same. But then like Rusev is on there, and he just looks like a scrub. He looks horrible. Like his hair is short which is not a good look on him. His shorts, they figured out later on that his shorts need to go over his belly because he has a weird hanging down belly.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have that these days because
he's gotten in good shape of late, yeah.
But even like Lana looks like she works at the mall. Corey Graves is wrestling, which is weird. And he's like, it's weird with Corey Graves because he's obviously putting on like a character like everybody does.
Yeah.
But now he's so natural on the mic and as a commentator that's how I know him. But then seeing him as like weird guy, wrestler guy is just weird. And then speaking of which, there is Aiden English, who at the time was going by something like The Artist. And he just wore like these really like your sort of stereotypical Frenchman about town in the 60s. Okay? So he had like a beret.
He looked like a beatnik.
Yeah, exactly. Like a
turtleneck.
Yeah, exactly.
Turtleneck. Yeah.
But a really scrubby one. Like a real garage sale variety version. Right? And so he'd come out and sing. And so now whenever I see him, number one, he's got a bigger ass, which is weird. He's got sort of a plump ass, which is weird to me.
Now or then?
Now. Well, then too. But now I notice that because he's like a really thin guy. He's like weird thin.
Yeah.
But then he has like a plump ass. He has a nice ass.
Okay. I haven't noticed.
Check out his ass next time you see him.
I'll make a point of it.
Anyways, he comes down with Gotch, who used to be a Rosebud too.
Yeah. What was up with Gotch's shirt last night? He cut it so it was like a singlet. So this came across his shoulder like this. But the way, because it doesn't cling to the body, the shirt doesn't. It kind of had some drape to it and wasn't flattering.
Yeah, he got some weird titties too. Anyways, they come down, they start talking some shit. The Bullet Club comes down, and then they start talking some shit. And so, lo and behold, we get an 8-man tag match going on.
You get the New Day and Enzo and Cass against the Club.
You mentioned this about Cass, about how when the shit talking was happening, they had him heavy on the mic.
Yeah, he was taking the lead.
I like that. That was good. That was really good.
My worry, though, is when they split them up, is that Cass has a much brighter future as a singles competitor than Enzo, because Enzo's not that good in the ring.
Yeah.
He's a great talker.
I would be really surprised if they broke them up before. It would be the kind of thing where Vince is so horny for Cass. That would be the thing.
I know.
That they would just have to be broken up. That would be a bummer to me. It'd be the kind of thing where I'd almost want Enzo to be like a wrestling manager.
Yeah.
Because I really want them together.
Yeah.
And because I think you're right. It's weird. They are so incredibly over right now. So, I don't know.
But, as over as they are now, it's really still the sky's the limit for them as a team.
They've literally been out, 2 months?
Yeah.
And Enzo was on the shelf for 1 month?
Yeah.
And
they're almost on par with the New Day in terms of popularity.
Yeah, I know, already.
Almost.
That's insane. So good for them. Let's see here. So, then we had an 8-man tag. New Day and Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains and the Club.
Yeah. Good match.
The
Club got the win.
Good match, fun match. Your assertion is the Club gets the win, therefore they're not going to get the belts. Look, I don't even see the New Day dropping them at SummerSlam. They're so hot right now. I would be really surprised if they even dropped them at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I know. It was interesting last night when they're talking about them being close to breaking the record, and they mentioned it was Brian Kendrick and Paul London who are the longest reigning tag champs. Well, I looked into that because I was like, no, Demolition has the longest reign in WWF, WWE.
Okay.
So, granted, I took like 2 minutes to look into this. What it is they were only counting, I believe, the WWE tag team champs.
Okay.
Not the full history of the company.
That's interesting because they do that with everything else.
I know. Full history of the company.
I don't know if they do that with the women's title / Divas title.
They mentioned Charlotte last night had held the Divas / women's title for 200-something days. I looked into it, and Demolition had the tag belts for 490-something days.
Do we know how long, the Fabulous Moolah held, the WWF women's title?
15 years.
They're not gonna break that streak. Nobody's gonna break that one. I don't know. I like when they clarify in this particular era or whatever, you know. I like when they do that because it acknowledges that there's history there.
Yeah.
But that is weird. That is kind of surprising because the Demolition's record isn't that. It's not that.
It's a year and a half.
It's a year and a half, but the New Day could easily carry those belts well past that. So anyways, let's see here. I don't even know why did you even put this in the notes, the Darren Young promo?
Because I hadn't seen it and it was better than the other ones.
I did see that. It was on SmackDown.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, I think these two are good together. I just have no idea when this fucking split screen shit's gonna stop.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to see Darren Young and Bob Backlund together on screen doing these little things together out about the town, like film some vignettes out there. They'd be freaking hilarious, I think. But this whole split screen thing is just weird.
It is weird.
I don't know. Maybe, what's his face? Maybe Backlund can't really travel that much anymore, so they're like front loading these things and then waiting to like really.
To where they're close to where he lives to do
something like that.
In-person stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Anyways, we have Stephanie and Shane backstage. So let's talk about this a little bit.
Okay.
Shane's gone for a couple weeks. He says for personal reasons. He comes back, and now they're at odds when they had been syncing up.
Well, see, I think they're at odds now because Steph made decisions that Shane has a problem with while he was gone, and primarily saying that she was going to run SmackDown.
Yeah.
Apparently now SmackDown is the hot ticket. Well, everybody wants to run SmackDown.
Look, I like that. I think
no, I do. It makes the show seem important. I agree.
Exactly. That's a great way to up its importance.
But where was that importance the last 4 years?
Well, I mean, they're not going to come out and just say, "Hey, we're running a B show over here. Hey, we're running a Raw recap show."
No, but like
here.
the whole 4 years, they could have been doing something like this. I mean, granted, I know since it's pre-taped in the internet era, there's spoilers everywhere. So
yeah.
In that sense, it's I understand why it's the B show.
Yeah.
But they could have done something to make it seem a little more important.
It feels like wasted time. I totally agree with you. But you know what's done is done. So now Stephanie and Shane are sort of at odds. I agree, kind of over SmackDown. I like that as sort of the motivation, but for them to, like, we've discussed this on the show plenty of times. I don't want to kick a dead horse, but there was some weird, awkward tension, chemistry between these two when they were syncing up. And now that they're hostile kind of towards each other, getting to that point.
That awkwardness is kind of not there anymore.
Kind of dissipating. At least the really weird aspect of it is sort of going away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It was all weird. But we did get the return of Corporate Kane. I was very happy to see this.
And hopefully it's not just for one night.
I'm hoping that too, but I hear tell that he's going to run for mayor of some town in Tennessee of some sort. So I don't know what Kane's deal is going to be. I don't know if he's going to be around, if he's not going to be around. I think, like you said on the recap show, this sounds to be the kind of... Stephanie even said when he walked up, she said, last week Teddy Long, now this. Yeah. That was sort of a tell. They're going to do this for the next 3 weeks until SmackDown. Month, whatever it is. Yeah. Until SmackDown debuts. I want to know who's going to come out next week. I love this. Kane cracks me up. He had a letter of recommendation from his brother, The Undertaker.
That was pretty funny.
That shit was funny. That was funny.
All the puns he was dropping.
Yeah, that was great.
That was good. It was pretty funny.
So anyways, Zack Ryder and Sheamus, we had a backstage segment with them.
That was kind of funny when Zack Ryder distracted Sheamus. Sheamus turns around and Zack Ryder wasn't there anymore.
Completely gone.
That was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny. I like that you laughed at that. That gave you a little bit of joy. Titus O'Neil. So wait, what was the setup? Because I walked in when...
Oh, Titus was coming out for a match.
Against who? Do we know?
No. And as Titus was just came through the curtain and on the ramp.
Rusev broke out.
Comes from, hit X, broke out, and then attacked him.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. And put him in the Accolade.
Yeah.
I want to know who was Titus supposed to be fighting.
I don't think they said.
I don't know. I just it reminds me of the time Damian Sandow was out in the ring. They should have put Heath Slater out there.
I know. Yeah,
put Heath Slater out.
Yeah.
And then nothing happens. Then we had an episode of the Ambrose Asylum, the returning Ambrose Asylum.
Well, yeah.
Where the Shield got together again.
Yeah.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good segment.
I really enjoyed that segment. And, okay, we had to talk about this now. We're going to give our official Money in the Bank predictions in our Machinima show.
Yeah,
because we kind of do that now. Kind of drive some of you guys over there. However, I'm right now.
We can discuss Money in the Bank, right?
We can discuss whatever the fuck we want to. This is our podcast. Money in the Bank.
Yeah, let's discuss.
Let's just talk about that particular ladder match. Okay. This has been number one. It goes without saying. This is the best build up for Money in the Bank in a very long time. Maybe ever. Yeah, possibly.
It's been great
because all this they've found so many great little mini storylines.
Between all the principals, I know, and they all have reasons.
Heels, all of them.
They all have reasons to want to beat each other up.
Exactly,
it's really well done.
It's fantastic, and it kind of culminated last night. It was pretty great. However, it seems like the World Heavyweight Championship scene needs Ambrose to be involved, and for Ambrose to be involved, it needs that briefcase. I really think that our Shield triple threat that we had always wanted for WrestleMania last year
is going to happen at SummerSlam.
It's going to happen at SummerSlam. And here's the sort of the crappy spoiler thing is that somebody leaked, and who knows, maybe this is misinformation put out there by the WWE. I don't know. But there was a leak, alleged leak, of a poster for Battleground that featured Dean Ambrose holding the Money in the Bank briefcase. Because of that and the Ambrose Asylum segment last night, my money is so firmly on Dean Ambrose winning this thing.
Well, I think we can both agree there's probably only two legitimate contenders, Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose.
Here's my thing, though. Going into this a month ago, I would have said the same thing. It would have been Kevin Owens or Dean Ambrose. Kevin Owens, I'll put it this way. Jericho and Zayn, and to a degree, Del Rio. But Del Rio's, I think, are lock for nowhere, not even going to get close to winning this thing. But in my opinion, Jericho, maybe not as much, but Sami Zayn for sure. Not really Cesaro, but Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they're kind of, to me, now on the same level as potential winners of Money in the Bank. But I think they kind of cancel each other out.
Yeah, potentially.
And Dean Ambrose is tangentially related to that big storyline.
Oh, yeah.
That I think him winning the briefcase and those guys all sort of canceling each other out kind of makes the most sense to me. Yeah. And on top of that, there was a fucking poster with him holding the briefcase. So
I am kind of sad in the fact that Dean mentioned my scenario that I talked about a couple weeks back about him winning.
You shouldn't be sad about that. You should be validated.
I am to an extent, but by him mentioning it, it means it's not going to happen.
Here's what I think. Here's my prediction for that match.
That's my feeling, at least.
Here's my prediction for that match. I think that Reigns will probably retain due to Dean, for some reason, teasing a cash-in, but the actual cash-in won't happen until SummerSlam, where it's going to be a proper three-way dance. That's my general feeling. That makes the most sense to me.
We talked about this a little bit before we started, and I understand that. Typically, Money in the Bank winners are heels because they can go and cash in on the downed opponent, and it's logical with their character.
Right.
Because a face, you wouldn't think a face would go and take advantage of a situation like that because they're a good guy. Ambrose is one of the few faces that can get away with that because he's a lunatic. He's crazy. He can go and take advantage, especially on a downed opponent.
Yeah.
So in my mind, granted, they haven't really been paying much credence to this, lunatic fringe, crazy Ambrose thing, really, in any sort of substantial way, other than using it on T-shirts.
He's more of just a wisecracker than a lunatic.
It would make more sense in terms of building his character to have him cash in on a downed opponent versus saying, here, I'm going to interject myself in this match and we can talk about it for 3 weeks. Like if he cashes in, if not Sunday at Battleground, this is what I thought. Cashes in Sunday at Money in the Bank, wins.
Mm-hmm. Which I would mark out huge for.
Yeah, instant at Battleground rematch between him and Reigns. Mm-hmm. Rollins comes in, causes a dusty finish because he's like, where's my rematch? Mm-hmm. I didn't lose.
Yeah.
I still should be involved, leading to triple threat at SummerSlam between the Shield members.
Here's what I fear. We're going to get any variation of what we talked about, with the exception of anybody having the belt except for Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I know.
And I think Roman would go on to SummerSlam and win and just keep on having the title.
I know.
I mean, at that point, we're already in a brand split situation and potentially probably a second world title anyways.
And that, that could be the other thing that could happen out of all this is that Money in the Bank is kind of a weird finish.
Yeah.
And so they say, okay, we're going to have a brand split. Reigns your champion in one show, Rollins your champion in another show.
I really hope. Look, here's my thing. I just want them to make it fucking interesting.
I know.
I think a title change between any of these three guys would make it interesting and unpredictable. Yeah. I just don't want Roman just to keep on holding that title just for the sake of some streak that they want to establish or something like that.
Like have someone try to cash in on him and have him beat him.
It's so annoying. I was doing. We got this weekend. We got coming up a top 5 cash in. A couple
best and worst. Yeah,
best and worst. And one of on the worst list is Cena Damian Sandow when he tries to cash in on Cena. He beats the crap out of Cena. He was pretty aggressive back then.
Yeah.
He focuses on Cena's injured shoulder, and yet Cena somehow still gets him up for an attitude adjustment and wins and beats Sandow on the cash in. I mean, that's so terrible.
On Raw.
It's so. I remember watching that live and being like, God, this is terrible.
Yeah.
So I move the belt for 2 months. Have him win it back at SummerSlam. I don't care. But Dean Ambrose, I think it would do a lot for him even to have the belt for a month or two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it'd be interesting, too, if even after SummerSlam, like during that whole span of time, Rollins was never pinned. So he's like, I still have never been pinned. I've never lost my belt.
A lot of stories there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was a really strong segment.
Yes.
Let's see here. Ambrose and Stephanie backstage.
She sets up the Ambrose Jericho main event.
Right. Let's see here. Then we had Paige picked up a win against Charlotte thanks to some inadvertent interference from Dana Brooke.
Yeah, she threw or tossed Charlotte back in the ring after she got knocked outside.
Yeah.
But she was kind of prone, so Paige took advantage.
So good for Paige. She picked up the win. She's not really in the scene, per se.
And they were teasing some discontent between Dana and Charlotte.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that pays off at the tag match, which has been confirmed for Money in the Bank, which is Dana and Charlotte against Becky Lynch and Natalya.
Let's see here. Cesaro and Sane had a little interview segment.
That was good.
It was pretty funny.
Best mic work Cesaro's ever done.
He's still not really all that great, but
he was pretty good in that last part of that interview when he was kind of laying into Sami Zayn. He was convincing.
He was okay. He was
pretty convincing.
I like Sami. Sami Zayn cracks me.
He's good.
He's going to be huge.
He will be. He just needs a couple more years.
He's going to be fucking huge.
Another year or two. He's going to be huge.
Let's see here. Brooke and Charlotte backstage. Like you said.
Charlotte wasn't happy.
Charlotte not happy. Sheamus versus Zack Ryder. Of course, Sheamus picks up the win. Starts laying into Zack Ryder. Your best friend, Apollo Crews, comes down. They let him do something. They let him get into it.
He had some passion behind it.
Yeah, a little bit.
He had some anger, and it was great.
Yeah, they said go out there and, make it your show, kid.
And now we got Apollo and Sheamus on the Money in the Bank pre-show joining for the 15th time.
Yeah. Who's gonna main event the pre-show, though? Because right now, I'm thinking Sheamus versus Apollo Crews is kind of a bigger program.
Oh, it's by far.
Okay, hold on a second.
By far.
Hold on. There's no by far here.
By far.
They're fighting for a pre-show spot. There's no by far.
By far.
No by far.
By far.
By a little bit.
By far.
Who's going to main event the pre-show?
Sheamus and Apollo Crews.
I think it's going to be Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin.
Ugh.
How could they fall in the pre-show, fall in the slots in the pre-show?
Like that feud, should not be going. And if it is, it should not even have main evented superstars or main event.
Let's see here. We had
how much longer are Dolph and Baron going to feud? How much longer?
I mean, sky's limit.
Is this going to be a year-long feud that no one cares about?
Oh, I care about it. Are you kidding me?
Okay, that one person cares about it.
Plenty of people care about it.
One is not plenty.
Kevin Owens was backstage with Shane. Kane was back there. Alberto Del Rio comes up, and there's just all sorts of goodness happening.
Yeah, Kevin Owens was accusing Alberto Del Rio of showing up late and was asking him to be removed from the Money in the Bank match as a form of punishment.
Yeah.
And then Alberto Del Rio...
Yes, too sweet me. You got it too sweet me on the Alberto Del Rio. You said it again, and it was unintentional.
I just say Del Rio too fast, it comes out Dorito somehow.
The look on your face after you said it. Alberto Del Rio. Oh, God, I'm sweating right now.
Alberto Del Rio comes in and accuses Kevin Owens of getting him held up at the airport.
Yeah, calls him a pedo.
Yeah.
I love it. I love when he's pissed and his pecs are all flexing. He's great. Alberto Del Rio's the best.
Oh, man.
That was a great segment. And then Kane made the suggestion that if they're going to team up against the Lucha Dragons, and if the Lucha Dragons win, they get their 2 spots in the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
And so that added some tension, some drama. Shane liked that. Kevin Owens started going at Del Rio in French, I believe.
Yes.
Because Del Rio was spitting at him in Spanish. He was like, well, you're not the only guy who can speak another language. So that was a lot of fun. So then we had their actual match.
There's a lot. There was more going on in between.
What's that? Yeah, well, we had the Cena and AJ Styles.
Well, even before that, we had Sami Zayn and Cesaro.
Oh, yeah, look at that. We had Sami Zayn versus Cesaro. Sorry. I'm still cracking up at Alberto Del Rio over here.
At some point, I'll stop saying that.
No, you're not. It's going to be great. And every time you're going to be so
I'll stop
frustrated
flubbing his name. I don't know why I do it.
Let's see here. Sami Zayn versus Cesaro. This is a really fun match. And the finish was that move. I don't even know what it's called.
Sami Zayn's done that move before. He did it a couple.
I know, but it always looks because he number one, he does it out of nowhere. He does it out of nowhere, and it's so quick, and you have no idea what happened. Every time I see it, even when we were playing Fuck Wrestling, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, yeah, it's fantastic. I love that move. It's so weird. It looks like a video game.
Well, I mean, it is, but it's a sunset flip powerbomb thing. That's all it is.
Yeah, I know. Well, no, dude, that's not all it is. You could say all it is to like, oh, it's just a lariat. That's all it is, or even a super kick. That's all it is. Whatever the fuck this thing is, there's a lot going into that.
Okay.
Let's see here. Then we had so Sami Zayn went over Cesaro.
Yeah.
And we had the Cena versus Styles. Now this has the feeling of what do you think the main event's going to be? Do you think it's going to be this, or do you think it's going to be the World Heavyweight title
match?
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. They're kind of treating this they're treating this the way they treat, like, when Brock comes in, they're treating this as above the belt. Cena kind of made reference to that. Cena actually said, we're two guys who have had championship reigns so much, we don't need the belt to be called champions.
Yeah, no, I know. But no, the title belt is going to be... If the title match was the main event at WrestleMania, this will be the title. The title match will be the main event at Money in the Bank.
All right. Let's see here. So here's the setup. Cena says, AJ Styles, we got two contracts. One is Cena versus Styles straight up.
Yeah.
The other one says Cena versus Styles with the club. So... the one that's just Styles, if the club comes down, I'm assuming it's like, a DQ or something. I didn't really hear that part.
Yeah, I didn't see what the punishment would be if he signed the no club contract, but then the club came out.
I'm assuming it's just sort of like, now you're pussying out. Like you're
going
against your word.
He effectively guilted AJ into signing the contract with no club.
Yeah. So, so we've got this situation now. Styles signed just for him. Mm-hmm. Actually, he signed to not have the club at ringside.
Yeah.
He didn't sign not to have Finn Balor at ringside.
That's true.
I'm thinking that, to me, was the biggest tell that we're going to see Finn Balor joining the club at Money in the Bank. I really think that's going to happen because they made such a point of having the club, Anderson, Gallows not being there. I think what better time for Finn Balor to come in? Because AJ Styles, they're not going to have him just lose straight up to Cena. I mean, they could. They always do. But I think that this has to go. This is going to go. Number one, do you agree this is going to go to SummerSlam? Cena versus Styles.
And I wouldn't be surprised if during the three matches, Styles wins the first two and Cena wins the last one at SummerSlam.
I think the way that they're booking his character in terms of him being the cowardly heel guy, I don't think there's a chance that he's going to win cleanly at Money in the Bank.
No.
So I firmly believe we're going to see Finn Balor at Money in the Bank.
Okay, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think they would
mark out?
What would Finn's motivation be for turning heel?
Oh, they're his best friends. They're his best friends.
Okay.
When you go from NXT, number one, Finn has the kind of, I think more than a lot of people, because of the demon thing, he can do that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I think that he can go to the dark side or whatever.
Yeah.
More than a lot of people could who have like different gimmicks. Like the vaudeville. I mean, I guess the vaudevillains can be, whatever. But I think Finn can do this more than anybody.
Okay.
He can jump.
I don't necessarily agree with you that he's going to be at Money in the Bank, but okay, I understand your theory, and I don't see fault in it.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to happen.
Why? Let me ask you why.
Because I think he's going to be in the UK the day before. Not that it's logistically impossible, but he's on, I think, the full duration of the UK tour, NXT tour right now. And I think they're done the 17th. I want to say that Friday.
All right. Well,
so
we'll see.
Not an impossibility, but it's going to be tough.
You're going, but they're going from the UK, which is ahead in time. He's going back in time
to Vegas.
He can do it. Way back in time. Yeah, it's in Vegas. Yeah, way back in time.
Like I said, it's not logistically impossible. I just don't think it's going to happen.
All right, we'll see. We'll find out. Let me answer that. How do you think this match is going to go down then?
I think the club will still just come out. I mean, unless there is some clause deep in the contract that AJ didn't see, there was no reason for the club just not to come out. Just because he doesn't walk out with them, there's no stipulation that the club was going to be barred from ringside.
Yeah, but what would be the point of the contract signing then? I mean, there's got to be a point to this thing.
Yes, I think maybe part of it was there might have gotten some flack for how abrupt the heel turn was on AJ's part.
Okay.
And so the contract signing was kind of damage control in that sense. Giving a little more complexity to the character.
All right.
You know, that's kind of what I think.
All right.
Or that's just what I said right now. I don't
Finn
know.
Balor confirmed Money in the Bank.
Okay, whatever.
Then Lucha Dragons versus Owen versus Del Rio. This is a fun match, mainly because Owens and Del Rio were just going at it the entire time.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was pretty
great.
great.
I love that part where Owens goes in the ring and pulls Del Rio to the corner and tags himself in and goes in and wins the match. That was good.
Yeah, I know. I love all this shit. Let's see here. Then we have Kevin Owens and Steph backstage. He's saying, hey, you know, Shane is making some really whack decisions. I want to... and Sami Zayn is going to be at ringside on commentary. He says, I want to be in commentary too. I love this. Whenever Kevin Owens decides to retire, he better go commentary.
He better be
This better happen.
The commentary booth.
Like, kick JBL out of there.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Then we've got Stephanie and Shane backstage.
Arguing about all these decisions being made independent of each other.
Yeah. Not giving each other fuck eyes for once.
And that's when Shane says, you're not to Steph, you're not controlling SmackDown. I'm getting SmackDown, and we're both going to be in control of Raw.
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem fair.
Where these people are getting their information.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Like one for each of you.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Vicky Guerrero, she's got to be next week.
Oh, that'd be great.
She has to be next week.
That'd be great.
I love Vicky.
That'd be fantastic. One person should get Raw, one should get SmackDown. There shouldn't be one person gets SmackDown and they both get Raw. No, one each.
Are we going to see Larson show up on Raw, making his pitch for SmackDown?
We'll see.
Too sweet for that.
No.
Larson control SmackDown. No too sweet for Larson to control SmackDown?
No too sweet for anything.
All right, well, one day. Ambrose versus Jericho is our main event. This was the perfect go home
for the Money in the Bank match.
For the Money in the Bank, because
everybody was out there
Alberto
involved.
Del Rio at the timekeeper, Cesaro at the ring announce position.
He was great.
Perfect for ring announce.
Saying Jericho from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, but coming from his summer home in stupid Idiotville, whatever he said. That was great.
And then we had, of course, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens on commentary, and it was hilarious. The whole thing was great.
I kind of felt like the Owens-Zayn dynamic was like you'd be Owens and I'd be Zayn, where most of the time I just look at you like I'm annoyed.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty much how it was.
I agree with that, yeah. Ambrose versus Jericho. Ambrose took home the clean.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool finish.
It was a good match.
Yeah,
it was a good match. They're booking Ambrose strong. I say Ambrose goes home with that Money in the Bank. I think he does.
I don't necessarily disagree. It's either Owens or Ambrose easily, and depending on what happens on SmackDown, I will make my final prediction after that.
On SmackDown? There's not going to be any tells on SmackDown.
You never know.
You insane. Big news, Larson, in the realm of NXT. This is the day and age we live in when my Twitter feed one morning fills up with all sorts of weird, grainy internet video of $1 million name, a huge name, big signing, shows up in NXT at some live download festival in wherever, England or Ireland, wherever it was. Bobby Roode showed up.
Yeah,
Bobby Roode, nice robe, looking like $1 million. I think they had like a weird, like there was multiple Bobby Roodes coming out. Did you see that picture I posted?
I think it was like they had his Titantron video was the house camera.
Yeah, it was. It was
so
on.
It was like infinite Bobby Roodes.
Like infinite Bobby Roodes. I think it'd be a great gimmick.
Yeah,
like a bunch of people come down.
Bobby Roode Infinite.
Yeah, Bobby Roodes.
Bobby Roodes. Yeah, Bobby Roodes.
Anyways, great. He fought Angelo Dawkins.
Yeah,
I want to say his name is.
Yeah,
who's been on NXT a couple times, and he won. Of course, it'd be weird if Angelo Dawkins beat Bobby Roode in his debut. But I think this is great. It's exciting news. He signed a contract. I just like a name like Bobby Roode should debut at a takeover.
I agree.
Live.
Well, I mean, he
in stunning HD.
He kind of did, because
walking down the hall.
But even before that, wasn't he ringside?
Yeah, he was ringside.
Takeover before that. So
that doesn't
he
count.
did debut at a takeover. So you really can't complain about it.
His in-ring debut should be at a takeover when we all can see it together. Look, I'm coming around to it. I think where these big things will happen at these NXT live shows or whatever.
Because then it creates excitement for the live events.
It does. And I'm all for that. It's just I wish I could have my cake and eat it too. I really wish there was a way that...
You want to be able to experience the feeling of the person you're a fan of debut
when
everybody else does, essentially.
Right, exactly.
You don't want to have to experience secondhand.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like I wake up and I'm like, oh, it's on Twitter. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's cool. Okay, yeah, sure. I don't know. There's no way around it. In this day and age, there's no way around it. I really appreciate the fact that they're making these live shows special and unpredictable. And I think, to me, that matters more than my own personal satisfaction of being able to see somebody when everybody else does.
Yeah.
So, whatever. Screw this guy. I don't really care. But, I'm so used to the days, the Monday Night Wars, when somebody would just show up and it was like, oh my God, we're all watching this, together in luscious standard definition.
And now even on Raw, they hardly do that because they want the name to be out there so people will know to tune in to watch.
Right,
They're more concerned about the ratings than surprising viewers.
But if you remember, Shinsuke Nakamura debuted. He debuted, like he showed up to sort of cut like a really small promo on Sami Zayn, like on video on the Titantron or whatever, NXT Tron, whatever it's called. But his debut in ring was on TakeOver, and we got to see his full entrance, and it was really cool as opposed to seeing some grainy stuff. And I think that's more impactful for me personally, but whatever.
And also it could just be a timing thing where they couldn't come to terms until this certain time, and then that was just, they probably want some some names on the UK tour to bring people out, and it just made sense to have them come out.
That could be. So, that was big news. What else happened?
The full list of wrestlers for WWE's Cruiserweight Classic was revealed.
Yeah, I knew like maybe 3 of them.
Yeah.
This is going to be on the network though, right?
Yeah.
I am really looking forward to this. This is going to be a great way to familiarize ourselves with some of the great talents around the world.
Yep.
I think that's sort of the point of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this. Like I said, I don't really know much of any of these guys. I need to up my game when it comes to knowing about these guys, because then be excited to see some of these names on there. It's like, oh, cool.
Well, both Ciampa and Gargano are in it.
So that was like the underwhelming thing. I was like, well, I know these guys. They're in NXT already. And this cracked me up. Sometimes you get some real zingers when he said Ciampa and Gargano, they look like a son-dad team.
Oh, yeah.
Because one of them, Gargano, I think. No, Ciampa.
With the beard, looks really old.
He looks really old. He looks like he should be a character on The Nick.
Yeah.
The other guy looks like he's 12.
Yeah. In other news, Adam Rose had all his charges dropped.
Aldo Rose, now that that's how he goes by. That's good. I hope. Apparently he's been able to convince the judge that he showed proof that he's
taking necessary steps to
correct
his behavior.
Yeah, exactly. So that's good. I hope his family is healing from whatever the fuck it is they need to heal from.
Yes.
And good things are ahead. I really hope that's the case.
Yes.
All right, let's answer some questions.
Okay. First question, Randy Hayes.
If you guys want to ask questions, hit us up on the Twitter at Steven Larson.
Or our personal ones, Joy of Bearding, MF Steve here. Just make sure to hashtag it.
You do the notes.
Going in Raw.
So if you're going to send it to one of our personal ones, at Joy of Bearding, send it to him, hashtag it Going in Raw.
Yeah.
And he'll make sure they end up on the show.
Yeah. First question from Randy Hayes. Pro Wrestling Insider reporting WWE is looking to sign veterans to help with the brand split. Who should they look into signing?
Damien Sandow.
I agree, but let's assume it's not going to be people they just released.
Okay. The Hardy Boys.
Okay. I think they're in the contract.
Brother Nero.
Kurt Angle.
Oh, I wish. Who's so like some of the lower key veterans though out there? John Morrison. Why not bring John Morrison back?
Yeah.
I love John Morrison.
Yeah.
Johnny Mundo.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what he's going by these days.
And then Justin Gabriel's in Lucha Underground too. They can bring him back.
I wonder. I'm not sure if he burned bridges.
Yeah, he might have.
He might have burned bridges. I'm not sure I don't know how much of a voice he had. I read a cool story about Luke Gallows being apparently a real positive influence in the locker room. Like apparently he's a big jokester, but not like a dick about it. Like he's a really good guy, and it's like boosting morale.
Oh, that's cool.
I love stories like that. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Who else?
Guys like that who've been around the world, wrestled a long time. That's probably a really good locker room guy.
Exactly. Yeah, I like that.
That'd be really good.
Yeah. Kevin Nash, he's a good locker room guy. Scott Steiner.
Oh, goodness.
You guys know you guys need to book me strong. Next.
Logan Cone. How would you book a modern day invasion angle of WWE by Lucha Underground, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and so on?
This is a good. I was thinking about this a little bit. You can get like a sort of an all stars of these guys and bring them in. I mean, probably not. You're not going to do that, but still, like a dream scenario.
Because like if it was Lucha Underground,
yeah. I mean Prince Puma, obviously.
You could say like the Lucha Underground guys would come in and say, you know, you're taking wrestling away from its essence.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
we're what wrestling is really about.
Yeah. I'd say bring in the Elite, bring in Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. They've been doing this on the internet for a while now to bring in against the New Day. Who would Joey Ryan face off against if he came in? Give him somebody fun to face off against.
Well, unfortunately, Sandow's not in WWE anymore.
That's true.
That'd been a good match.
I'm trying to think who could be like a good match for him. Or, it'd be fun. It'd be a lot of fun because they were already doing that sort of sexualizing Francesca thing. Put Joey Ryan in the New Day. That'd be great. Wouldn't that be great? That'd be fantastic.
Callum Harris.
He'd be the guy who kind of takes things a little too far.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? The innuendo, and they'd be like, "Okay, you got to dial it down," because they kind of do that with Big E right now.
Yeah.
Like they always have to reel him in a little bit.
Yeah.
Have Joey Ryan just a guy who goes like way too far.
That'd be funny. Callum Harris, have you guys seen Unfiltered with Roman Reigns? If so, what are your thoughts?
I have not. I really have no desire to see him and Renee Young sit down and chat. I like Renee. She's fine. I watched the Seth Rollins one.
Rollins was good.
And it was good. I like that. I don't have much of a desire to see Roman Reigns talking like while eating lunch.
I'll check it out sometime.
I won't.
Alex Martosi, how do you book a Balor debut? We know what Steve would do. Yeah. And he means actual show up with lights, music, full entrance, or as regular Balor or the Demon.
Get rid of the Demon.
Yes.
I don't like the Demon anymore.
What made you flip on the Demon?
Oh, seeing him in his awesome leather jacket. Seeing him in the Bullet Club. I don't need the Demon.
Didn't he have the body paint in New Japan?
He would do different things. He didn't do the Demon thing specifically, but he would do a bunch of different things.
They're going to keep the Demon.
Yeah, I know. Demon's marketable.
I know.
That's why.
I don't like it. Bret Fart. Is it just Bret Fart, or is the current shirtless Jericho heel absolutely a blast?
Oh, he's
yes,
great.
He is.
This is some of the best work. Like, you can tell he's having so much fun.
I know.
You can tell. And I think a lot of it has to do with who he's working with. Mm-hmm. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Ambrose. I think he's having a blast with these guys.
Yeah. Burning Fortress. If Daniel Bryan was still wrestling, who would you want to see him feuding with, and would he have the championship? I want to see him with people like Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Everything you just said is what I'd want.
All 5-star matches.
The title is sort of regardless. It's like I don't really care about that necessarily.
Yeah. No, I agree. Brady Douglas, if Goldberg came back and faced Brock Lesnar again, who would you book to win and why? I'd tell you who would lose, and that would be the crowd.
Yeah.
Because it would not be a good match.
Face Brock Lesnar. I don't want to book.
I really don't want to see this match again.
A guy who could potentially, legitimately be a UFC megastar again. Maybe. I can't see him losing against a 48-year-old retired pro wrestler.
And I can't see Goldberg coming back just to lose.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen. I'm telling you, put Goldberg in there with Triple H.
Ryback. Who wants to see?
Oh, yeah, even better.
Ryborg take on Goldberg in the Impact Zone.
Goldborg versus Ryborg in the Impact Borg.
Ashley Smith. What should the next WWE 24 be about? He'd like to see one on Shane's return. That would be interesting, but I think the podcast I did with Mick Foley kind of covered that.
Probably. Next 24.
I had an idea for this, and I forgot it.
Dude, honestly, like the build up to the Money in the Bank, seeing those guys and how they're working this and their backstage chemistry would be really interesting to me. I would love to see them.
Did you watch the Seth Rollins one?
No, I didn't.
Oh, this is what I thought a good 24 would be about. Depending on how they do the draft, they have like a network special and treat it kind of like an NFL draft. Mm-hmm. Do like a behind the scenes thing on that.
That'd be interesting.
They have scouts out there.
That'd be really interesting to see how far they'll open up the curtain. Mm-hmm. Because they've pushed the limits a little bit, but I want to see how far they could really push that.
Yeah. Matt Rutland. Despite being an old fart like you guys, Matt Rutland is going to his first ever wrestling show this Friday at NXT House Show. Any pointers? Have fun.
Yeah, I mean,
just go have fun.
I get maybe it depends on which show he's. I think the touring brand there, that's the good show. I think the ones in Florida are still like the ones that are like super B players.
Yeah. The UK tour right now is.
That's all the.
Yeah, it's all the top guys and gals.
Yeah, just have a good time. I mean, there's nothing really else to say about that.
Chris Kaufman, what in your mind?
My son, you bastard.
What in your mind was the weirdest gimmick in all of wrestling?
The weirdest gimmick in all of wrestling. Yeah, okay. Off the top of my head, fake Razor, fake Diesel,
fake Undertaker,
fake. At least you know what? At least fake Undertaker was kind of story motivated.
So bad though.
It was so bad, but number one, it was prime time Brian Lee.
No, I know.
But number two, the Undertaker's and look. I'm not saying that it was totally cool and everything because we both know it was crap and it was weird. But The Undertaker being a supernatural character and then the physical manifestation of fighting his inner demon or whatever, you can take a million different... Fake Diesel and fake Razor was just weird.
Yeah.
Like, they were gone and like the WWE was
no one noticed. Yeah.
And then Jim Ross says, we've got these guys, we still have... It was just weird and spiteful and creepy and weird.
The Yeti.
Yeah, anytime they go that route. I mean, RoboCop showing up and helping Sting.
Shockmaster.
Yeah, I don't even know what his gimmick was actually supposed to be.
Well, he had a stormtrooper helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Painted silver.
Yeah, it was like
metallic paint.
like sparkly.
Yeah.
Sid was a weird gimmick. Just Sid, in general, he was a weird gimmick.
I think you're just saying Sid is weird.
Sid is weird for sure.
What was Scott Steiner's chainmail hat about?
Number one, it's great that you call it a hat.
Well, I know it's like a hood, but the hat was first.
I love that you call it a hat.
It's funnier to say
That's
hat.
Perfect. It is. It's hilarious to say hat. So yeah, Scott Steiner, he was weird gimmick.
And just kind of weird in general.
His workout video was weird. Other weird gimmicks.
I mean, wrestling is weird. Period.
Wrestling is just weird in general.
I mean, like any characters from like early '90s WWF.
Yeah,
would easily apply.
Mark Merrow's Johnny B. Bad was, I'm pretty sure, offensive because he was being Little Richard. Like, I honestly don't think any offense was intended there. He was just being Little Richard.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure. I mean, I know he's a really, really super tan white guy. I don't know if there was some darkening of the skin via makeup. I don't think there was, but it kind of looked like it. He looked weird.
Yeah.
He looked like little. They did a good. If the point of Mark Merrill's Johnny B. Bad was to look like Little Richard, they kind of succeeded. What do you think Little Richard thought about that?
I don't know.
Probably thought it was really weird. You want to talk about a weird wrestling gimmick? What if we turn it on and Skylar and Hollis were literally doing Steven Larson? What if they had Going in Raw t-shirts on and they're like one dude had an S, one guy had an L?
That'd be really weird.
It'd be really weird. So Johnny B. Bad is really weird.
It is really weird.
Because Little Richard's sitting at home. Hey, what's this? Oh, God, that was a good question. You guys can have your mugs on our show, and we're about to prove that out.
Yeah.
Our good friend Richie Watson sent us a video question, which you guys can do with a $20 Patreon mark.
Yeah.
You guys can put because we can't really bring it down to the $5 level because then everybody's going to be...
The whole show would be a video question.
Entire show's
we wouldn't be on it at all.
I'm not opposed to having an all-video question show where we just answer video questions. It's going to be kind of fun.
But it'd be a separate thing.
It'd be a separate thing. I don't really want that.
But anyways, let's see what Richie has to say.
All right.
Hello, Stefan and Larson. I was just wondering what you guys think about the so-called rumor of there being 2 pay-per-views for Raw and SmackDown. I'm kind of 50-50 on it since I love wrestling, but I totally understand why people want 2 pay-per-views a month. But I wonder what you guys think about it.
Thank you, Richie. This time he didn't do the face scan thing. There was not James Willems this time. This time it was Richie Watson. Thanks for the question.
Yes, thank you.
So, we mentioned this on our Machinima. We dive into this extensively for 4 minutes on our Machinima recap show today.
Yeah.
Jerry Lawler apparently said at some sort of Superman celebration show thing.
Yeah, this is
he's a big Superman mark.
According to ProWrestling.net.
Yeah. Said that Lawler said that he has inside info. Each of the brands are going to run monthly pay-per-views of their own.
Except for the
Big
major four
yeah,
pay-per-views.
SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
We say this on the Machinima Recap. We're cool with this, and it kind of makes sense. Like apparently the driving force of this is WWE recently had to change out or upgrade their production trucks for like this new state of the art crap.
Yeah.
That's all digital, is supposed to go into tape.
And as also mentioned in the Machinima show, they showed these trucks off in like a DeVry commercial they ran on Raw last night.
Yeah, it was cool to see how it works.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And so the background, like the result of this is live SmackDown now is, I guess, they're able to do that. Apparently, live stuff now is they can just do a lot more of it.
Yeah.
And so it makes more sense, especially in the financial way, for them to do more live programming for the, there's a big selling point for the network now. Now you get 2 pay-per-views every month.
This all but guarantees that they're going to have separate title belts for world title belts for each show.
What do you think a title belt is going to look like? Like a second title belt?
Someone brought this up, I think, on our Twitter, but maybe somewhere else. I don't remember.
Okay.
That the world title now has red trim.
Yeah. So they're thinking blue.
Yeah, just blue trim for the SmackDown belt.
Okay, well, I guess that makes a lick of sense.
Otherwise, they'll bring back the old WCW title.
Yeah,
that's the other option, I guess.
I don't want them to do that. I want them to move ahead in the future. I'm not sure how I feel about blue, but then I don't know. I mean, hopefully they'll do something interesting with it.
Yeah,
maybe they'll have the H belt.
That'd be great.
The H belt. H belt.
That's a great idea too.
Yeah.
Embrace that.
Embrace it. Yeah. All right, Lars. You know what time it is?
Oh, it's time for Kayfabe Corner.
What is Kayfabe Corner exactly?
It's only the greatest pro wrestling trivia challenge of them all.
That's all it is, really.
You got 12 names.
Yeah.
6 real.
I think.
6 fake.
Perhaps.
Usually. Sometimes it's 5 and 7. 2 trivia questions.
Yeah.
Perfect score is 14.
Yeah, it is. I've got all that today. So at the $10 Patreon mark, you can vote on the Kayfabe Corner theme of the week. This week, I posed the 2 options.
I saw one of them with Jerry Lawler.
The other one was Corey Graves. 2 of the 2 already legendary commentators. Yeah. Corey Graves won out in a really, really tight race. Really tight race.
Interesting.
Might have swung the Kings' way over the past hour. I don't know, because we got a couple more votes. But look, I already did Corey Graves.
Yeah, you got to cut it off at some point. You got to cut off voting at a certain point.
At a certain point. I'm going to keep on pushing for Lawler.
Okay.
Because I think there's probably a lot of weird shit that he did in his day, like, with all the Memphis days and stuff like that. And you know what's funny is that on SmackDown, like last week or week before, something like that, I don't know if this was at Sauro Marlo, whatever his friggin' name is.
Mauro Ranallo.
Thank you. I think this is at his behest. But Lawler started going into a little bit, like there was one small segment where they were talking to the commentators with the cameras on them, and Lawler started talking about similarities between whatever was happening in the ring or whatever's happening, whatever storyline, and guys who used to wrestle in Memphis.
Oh, that's cool.
In terms of him coming up and having to face them. And I think he was talking about like Roman Reigns, what he's had to go through, etc. And it was really cool. And that's what I wish Lawler was all the time.
Yeah.
That guy who has so much experience and so much history, bringing that to the table the way Mauro Ranallo brings sort of a classic play-by-play thing. I think that could make those guys
be really cool.
Really, really good.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Corey Graves is the theme.
Okay.
Number 1.
1.
Sunset Sharp.
Fake.
Very good. Darren Burridge.
Darren what?
Burridge.
Burridge? Real.
Very good. Eddie Ickelman.
Real.
Fake. Quinn Magnum.
Say
Quinn Magnum.
Quinn?
Yeah. Quinn Magnum.
Fake.
Real. Isn't that a dope name?
That's a good name.
Quinn Magnum.
I thought you were just doing some Magnum TA reference.
I knew you'd know that. I know you'd think that. I knew it.
You knew it.
Aiden Maine.
Spell Maine.
Mayne.
Real.
Fake. Josh Prohibition.
Fake.
It's real. It's too weird to be real. I mean, to be fake. It's real. Dustin Ardeen.
Real.
Very good. Christopher Rowden.
Fake.
Very good. John Dahmer.
Real.
Very good. What are you at 5?
Yeah, I'm like 5.
I'll be damned.
Fake.
It's real.
Wow.
Yeah. Dark J.
Real.
Fake.
Fuck.
Barry Bannister.
Real.
Fake.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Just double check. 1, 2, 3.
That seems like a lot of fakes.
No, 6. Six
okay.
fakes. 6 fakes. 6 reals. What do you got?
5.
5
So
still.
right now
Okay.
we're tied overall since we
All
got 10 last time.
Yeah, you might get this. You might get this.
All right. Not a good week
A
for
little
me.
bit of luck, but this is okay. So there's 2 trivia questions. Trivia question number 1.
Number 1.
Corey Graves appeared for the first time on WWE TV in 2007 on SmackDown. Whom did he job to in a squash match?
2007?
Squash match.
Gene Stinsky.
Well, it's Snitsky, but no.
Snitsky. Oh, sorry.
Mark Henry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I love Snitsky, though. He had really long nipples.
You always say that.
He did. Wasn't my fault. Number 2. Who did he lose to? Who did Corey Graves lose to in his debut for FCW?
Damian Sandow.
Oh, good guess. Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan.
Eric Rowan.
Yeah, sorry, pal. Not a good showing for you. My dominant performance last week.
We're tied up.
We're tied up! Yes! We're tied up! I'm going to keep it going, too.
All right.
Yeah, all
I've
right.
held the lead for the first half of the year, so
I'm having a good day.
good.
All right.
Now I'm not.
Okay. That's even better for me.
I know. That's
Oh,
what
no.
I'm
I want you to have a good day, too. No.
No, you don't.
Too sweet me on being tied up. I'm being tied up.
No.
Now we're equalsies.
No, I'm definitely not going to too sweet you for tying things up. No, I want to win.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Anyways, we want to say thank you to all you patrons out there for supporting us. Thank you, all you guys, for hitting the download or subscribe button for the podcast version. Of course, thank you for watching on YouTube. We really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you guys next time.
Goodbye.